Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about basic dog training. We're going to talk about healing. I was asked a very good question today by someone who was asking me, why do I start healing the dogs on the right and not the left? And it was a good question. It was not aggressive question. It was a very good question, and even I had to answer the question why I do it. And I'm going to tell you why. About a year ago, I met a dog trainer. His name was Tommy Thompson. He's a extremely good dog trainer, and one of the things Tommy does, he trains with piped up canine, is he cannot make the dogs heel on his left side because he's disabled. He cannot do it. So he has to make the dogs heel on the right. And one thing I noticed was every dog he trained, I mean every single dog he trained, in 3 or 4 days they were healing nicely. They look amazing. Uh, I did the left, and that would take like 7 days, 14 days, 3 weeks, and we're talking about the dogs looking like Tommy's dogs in 3 days. Then I noticed another thing. When I would be with my dogs and they were off leash and were walking, they favored my right side. So then I started picking that up. The dogs start walking to my right, they start favoring my right side, and then I learned. I said, let me start a dog on the right side healing. Once I got the dog to heal on the right side in 72 hours, having him post between my legs and the next day, and then having him heal on the left in 5 days was a no brainer. So when you're training with a dog, you have to show them the easiest method first. Once they understand the concept, then you can move on to the harder portion. And it was a lot physically harder for dogs to do it on the left side first. So I would start them on the right. Then I started noticing I could do healing with every single client's dog that I got versus every other dog. I could do all the dogs. And it feels good when you tell your dog the foos or a bully gi or a heel and they jump to on your right side in attention. It feels good as a dog owner. It feels like you have control of your dog. So instead of healing being partial to some dogs and not others, we just implemented that into our program where every dog we get is going to learn that. They're going to start on the right, the center, to the left. And we keep that same tradition with every dog. We don't change it up. All right. So we do the same thing with every dog, and it works for us. I was talking to another trainer, and he was saying that, the other trainer was telling the client that they couldn't do it because the client wanted the dog to heel on the right, and he was telling them the client the dog must heel on the left side, but he couldn't tell her why. Now we're going to recap through that. Why do dogs heel on the left side? The reason why dogs heel on the left side is because law enforcement and military primary, most handlers are right-handed. You don't want to shoot your firearm over your dog's head when they are heeled on your right side, so you make them heel on your left. This spilled into the sport arena where all dogs heel on the left side. If you're doing pet healing, it doesn't matter what side your dog heals on, as long as they heal. If you're doing competition healing, then you need your dog to heal on the left. There's a big difference in pet healing and competition healing. 99% of customers that most dog trainers see, dogs are pets, and dogs are not going to be doing competition. So, if you can effectively train a dog to do something that the owner wants, then do it easy. Start on the left side, on the right side, and move to the left if that is your thing. If you feel that you have to be on the left because every dog trainer is on the left and that's what you got to do because you got to keep up with what everybody else is doing, then you feel you're free to do that. Ultimate goal of training a dog is to make the owner happy. So it's not to make the trainer happy. If the trainer is training a dog to make themselves happy, they're gonna be unsuccessful every time. You should be training the dog to the standards of the owner's expectations, not your expectations. And I get it. We all have expectations when we train dogs. So do I. We want them to do certain things. But at the end of the day, we shouldn't push dogs to do things that are outside of their expectation because we feel that the dog should be doing X, Y, Z. You only got a short time. You got maybe, and if you're lucky, 2 weeks. And the owners want to see that the dogs are doing something in 2 weeks. They want to see that the dogs have learned something, they've retained it, and most importantly, this is the most important factor, that the dog would do it for the owner, not just the trainer. So, that's the goal you're reaching. Ultimately, like if I train a dog to heel first. Another trainer may train a dog to stay first. Another trainer may train a dog to sit first. There's no order on how you train a dog and when you train it. As long as they do all the fundamental quadrants of training, then you meet the criteria. You can go backwards, you can go forward, but you can meet that. Trainers who understand this concept or do very well. Trainers who try to keep up with other trainers and try to make up things to try to seem better than they are, they also ultimately fail in training a lot of times. So the reason why we healed to the right, when we started that last year, we stole it from Tommy Thompson, a piped up canine. I'm gonna give him a shout out because he has to do it. He has no choice. He cannot make dogs hill on his left side. And by doing that, he figured out it was easier to make dogs hill on his right side, and he can make dogs post in the middle, and then he can have dogs automatically hill on the left side. So that was something he came up with. That's something that works for us. That's something that we'll continue to do. If you have to have your dog hill on your left side in the beginning, maybe you should look for a trainer that's willing to do that. But the problem is, you got to find a trainer that can make your dog hill on the left side in a short amount of time, which is probably not going to happen. So if you find a trainer that has a little niche that they can use to help you get what you're trying to get, an expectation, that's probably where you want to be. You probably want to be with that trainer. And if they can explain you why they doing what they're doing, that is even better. If they're just doing it because everybody's doing it, then that's probably training you want to stay away from because they really have no foundation behind what they're doing. They're just doing things and making it seem good, and it's not working for the owners, and the owners are wasting their money and time on dog training, and they give up and they believe it doesn't work. So again, I want to get a shout out to Tommy Thompson, Piped Up Canine. I want to get a shout out to Carrie, who's Carrie the Canine Effect. She's awesome. And there's some other trainers I'm not thinking about, but these guys are amazing dog trainers. And I just wanted to say again, you're always learning. You never know everything. And if you're not stealing stuff off another trainer to make your program better, you're not growing. So the ultimate goal is to keep growing and to get better at dog training, no matter how long you've been doing it. And the ultimate goal, is to satisfy the customer. They have to have a satisfied product to meet their expectations. And if you're not doing that, then you're not doing anything. So again, Madison Bell, you guys stay good, and let's get these dogs out there and keep training them.